Movements that heal back pain, part 5. Hey everybody, this is Mike Erlob with another episode of Power Your Life. And it is so great to be spending this time with you again today. I gotta tell you, I look forward to this every single week. Now, the other weekend, I had an experience, and it was with my family and I decided we needed something to entertain ourselves now that it's becoming winter and we got snow, and you just can't get outside and go for a hike as easily. So the other weekend, we decided that we would start putting a jigsaw puzzle together. And, went out and I picked up a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, and I realized how incredibly hard these things are. You see, when I got it, I didn't think it would be really all that hard. And then I got the puzzle and we brought it home and opened up the box. So we just laid all the pieces out on the table. And I looked at that and I thought, oh no, what have we gotten ourselves into? I mean, it was a lot of pieces. And, as I looked at all of those pieces of that jigsaw puzzle, actually, I started feeling kind of lost and overwhelmed. And it was like, I just didn't even know where to start. And I remember I was watching a movie one time, and in the movie, the characters were entertaining themselves. They had a hobby of putting jigsaw puzzles together. And I remembered that these characters, they would always start by finding all the border pieces and then creating the border first. And I thought, well, that kind of makes a little bit of sense. So, we started separating all the border pieces, into their own pile. And what I realized at that moment in time is that step gave me direction. And that helped me to make sense of all these crazy looking pieces, And soon, as we started putting it together, the borders of the puzzle, it started taking shape. And, as we've been gradually working on this puzzle, it has really gotten me to think that, putting a puzzle together, it's a lot like life. Often in life, our problems can seem like all the pieces of the puzzle, they're just all jumbled together on the table. And, nothing seems to fit. Nothing is making any sense. And for most of us, this can make that problem that we're facing just seem incredibly overwhelming and just too big to handle. And the next thing you start feeling lost. And, that's when anxiety really can start and take hold. And the more you look at things, the bigger the problem can seem. But when you take a step back from that problem and you just ask yourself, what is it that I need to do first? What is the one thing that I need to do? And you don't have to do anything else. You don't even have to know anything else. Just focus on that one thing. We call that first things first. Just focus on that. You see, then once that is done, that's when you can start to think about the next step, okay? And then you can ask yourself, well, what's the next right thing that I should be doing? And then once you answer that question, then you start working on that next action. And then once it's done, you do the next right thing after that. And you can continue this, and then you start to realize that, your problem is starting to get taken care of. You're putting that puzzle together. And that overwhelm and anxiety that you were feeling, what happens? They're slowly eliminated. And it's all about breaking the problem up into these smaller pieces that can be handled one at a time. Now, you may not know all the steps, but just finding a place to start and then focusing only on that action or item until it's complete, that will give you the direction that you need in order to solve that problem that you're facing. I seriously try this approach on your next problem or task or project that seems like it's just completely overwhelming you. Just remember, first things first. And then once you get that done, what's the next right thing? Now, over the last several episodes, I've been showing you guys some of my best movements that I've found to fix back pain. And I use these movements in the clinic with many of my back pain clients. Now, you might be wondering, which one should I start with? And, which one do I do next? And how do I use them all together? Those are all great questions, and that can really seem kind of confusing. And I know, all of this information, all of these things can really seem overwhelming. And it's a lot like that experience that I was just describing with that jigsaw puzzle that I had at home. So today, you're just in for a real treat, because what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you exactly how to put these movements together, actually what order to put them in, and how to create this amazing home back program for your pain, okay? So before we get into that, what I want to do is revisit the basics of these movements, okay? So the movements that heal back pain, they've got to hit some criteria, and these are the ones that they have to hit the key muscle groups that contribute to back issues, okay? They also have to work multiple muscle groups at the same time. These movements have to be able to prime your nervous system, and they have to be capable of creating structural change in your body. And these movements that I'm about to show you, the ones that I've already done, I'm just going to show you in what order to put them together. These movements do exactly those things. Some other things to remember, okay? One, you never hold your breath during these movements, all right? Number two, always keep your abdominals engaged during the movement, just simply by pulling your belly button in towards your spine. Three, never force into your primary pain, okay? Muscle soreness, you can get a little bit of that. That might be created from performing the movement. Hey, muscle soreness is good, all right? But an increase in your primary pain level is not. Now, number four, if you have pain before you start, be conscientious of that pain, okay? Don't do anything to aggravate it. Just remember, a correct movement will decrease the pain. It will not make it worse. Number five, this is the last one. Make sure you challenge yourself. Perform these movements to the point to where you feel at least 40% challenged, okay? If you don't do that, you're really probably not going to gain a lot from it. Now, one of the best ways to use all of these movements, okay, is to string them together in what we call a multifunctional movement flow, all right? That's what we refer to it in the clinic. And so how you do this is you always start out with 2 warm-ups, okay? And your 2 warm-ups are the swing kicks and the Warrior One movements, all right? So those are the 2 things you're going to do first to get the muscular warm-up, to start priming your nervous system, to get your body ready, all right? Then you're going to work into what we call the actual work set of the program, which is comprised of 3 more movements that creates one cycle. So these would include the bird dog crunches, the dragon pose, followed by the duck unders. Now, when we do these in the flow, we're doing all of them for 40 seconds on each side, okay? And now, once you complete that, that makes up one cycle, you would then, if you're ready to, would start another cycle, which would start again with the bird dog crunches, the dragon pose, and the duck unders. So those 3 core basic movements are the ones that you're repeating over and over again, whereas the first 2, those are simply your warm-ups. You just do those one time, all right? So what we're going to do right now is we're going to just move over to the side here. I'm actually going to take you through this flow, okay? We're going to go through this. I'm going to go through each movement. I won't be doing them all for 40 seconds. I wanted to show you just the demonstration on how that works and how you string those together, okay? So we're just going to step right over here as we move in. And I already got my area already preset up, but all you need in order to do these movements, and this is why this is so great, is you can do this anywhere. You don't need a large space. You can do this in your bedroom. You can do this, in your living room. You can do this in a hotel room when you're on vacation or you're out, okay? So as you can see, I just laid out a yoga mat. I've got a stretch band. We use stretch bands here called Synergy bands. You can order any of these on Amazon. Any of those stretch bands will work. They got different resistance levels. Just look at one and start with one. Maybe that's a little easier and work your way up. Usually they're color-coded. Yoga blocks are always extremely helpful too. Especially when you can't do a full movement, they really help, and we'll show you how to use those. And last, all I've done is just taken a piece of athletic tape just across the door jamb at about shoulder height that we're going to use, for those duck unders. So our first movement, remember we talked about the warm-up, okay? We're going to do a swing kick. Now that swing kick is very simple. Remember, you start off like you're going to take off running. and I'm going to swing with my right leg. And this is great for warming up the body, helps to mobilize the sciatic nerve, helps stretch. It's a dynamic stretch to the hamstrings. It allows you to bear weight on the other side, which works your balance, it works your coordination. Depending on the speed of your movement, it'll start working your cardiovascular system. Always hold your hands up, okay? Don't ever do a swing kick with your arms down at your side. Get them up there. Pretend like you're boxing somebody. Get yourself into a defensive stance position, all right? And then when you're going to take that back leg, you're going to keep the knee straight, remember, and you just kick up. That's all you're going to do. You're just going to kick up, and you're going to kick up 10 times. And you can start out slow. You can start out with a low kick. And then as you get more comfortable, you can start kicking higher. 10 kicks on each leg. Do that for 2 sets, okay? And then that would be your warm-up. I'll show you with my other leg. So again, defensive stance position. Remember, I'm going to kick with my left leg. So it's just straight, kick. And it's normal for you to feel really good kicking with one leg and a little off balance with the other, okay? That just depends on which leg you're dominant on. Swing kicks, 2 sets of 10, each leg, first warm-up. Second warm-up, Warrior One. So Warrior One, same standing position, same offset position, one leg in front of the other. And then what I want you to do here, this is key, is bend your front leg, all right, or front knee. Don't let that knee shoot out in front of the toes. Don't do this. Just go in front. Keep your body upright. Keep your back leg straight. Set your glutes, okay? Tighten the old butt cheeks together. Just think about squeezing those tight. Now, keep that bent, keep the old butt cheek squeezed tight. That helps tilt your pelvis back. That helps to also, remember, tuck in the tummy. So pull in the belly button, engage your core. This is going to help to stretch that psoas. It's going to stretch your calf muscles. It's going to work your quads a little bit. It's going to work your balance. Then take your arms, okay, once you're set like that, and pull them up overhead, kind of like a touchdown signal. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Pick a spot out on the wall and breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Keep all those muscles engaged. Shoulder blades squeezed, glutes tight, core engaged. Keep that left knee bent. And you would do this for 30 seconds. It helps to have a timer. Okay, after 30 seconds, you bring the arms down, relax the glutes, and then you step back, and you do the same thing with the other side. Okay? So it's the exact same thing. Bend forward with that front leg. Keep the back leg straight. Tighten your glutes. Engage your core. Arms up overhead. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. In the nose. Out the mouth. Okay? 30 seconds of hold time. Breathing the whole time. Then the 30 seconds is up. Bring your arm down and return. Now that you would do twice, okay? So you do 30 seconds on each side. Eventually you're going to get really good at that to where you can hold for a full minute, and then you just do 1 set on each side. So that is your warm-up, okay? Swing kick, Warrior One. Now we're going to go into our work set. So our work set, the first one is the bird dog crunches, all right? So now we'll see if the camera can keep up with me. But what we're going to do here is I've set out a yoga mat. You don't have to have a yoga mat. It just helps, you know, helps to have a little bit of cushion. And then you go down onto all fours, all right? And from here, what you're going to do is you're going to take your elbow and your knee. Now it has to be opposite of each other, okay? So if I take my right elbow, I'm going to take my left knee, I'm going to bring those together and I'm going to touch them, all right? So it looks like this. So we're just bringing them together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to kick them out straight, all right? And then you're going to bring them together. This is the crunch, and then this is the bird dog, all right? Your eyes follow your hand, okay? So when I come together, my head should be looking down so I can see my knee and my elbow come together. Now I kick out, I'm going to follow my right hand. I'm going to come together, follow my right hand, come together, just like that for 40 seconds. I'm just going to do this, nice and easy. Okay? Then I can do that on the other side, and it's the same thing. Together, apart, together, and apart. Okay? Eyes following the hand. Look down, look up. Okay? For 40 seconds. Now, that will work your glutes, that'll work your core, that'll work your upper back. If you start getting better at it and you can start working on the speed, that'll start working your cardiovascular system. But don't ever sacrifice the quality of the movement for your speed or the quantity, okay? Always focus on your form. So bird dog crunches, 40 seconds on each side. Now, that's going to move into, we're going to add in a yoga pose called dragon pose. This is in between, okay? Because we're going to basically have 2 good strengthening exercises and then 1 good yoga stretch. So I'm going to get my yoga blocks over here. And we just got done doing those bird dog crunches. Now we're going to go to dragon pose. Now with dragon pose, you start in that all fours position. We also call that tabletop position. And then what you're going to do, I'll show you with my right side first, is you're going to take your right foot and you're going to bring it up almost even with your right hand, just like that, okay? Now, you're going to let the knee fall out to the side a little bit and you're going to let yourself roll on the side of the foot just a little, okay? And you're going to take your back leg and you're just going to walk those toes back, okay, so it stretches out. Now, from here, many of you will feel a stretch in this position just like this, all right? You're going to feel it, like right now, you're going to feel it in my hip, my right hip, on the outside of my right hip, and you can feel it into my left hip flexor kind of groin area. Now, what you can do is the next step is to come up on those toes, just like I did there. And I'll show you on the other side so you can see here in a minute. Now, if you're feeling a stretch there and that feels challenging, that's as far as you go. But if you don't, you can go lower. Now, ultimately, you can go all the way down to your elbows. I can't quite do that, so that's why I brought these blocks here, okay? So, because what you can do is you can use your yoga blocks. You can pick these up on Amazon or, at Shields or Dick's Sporting Goods. They have them all over the place, but they're very inexpensive and they're very helpful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up on my toes, and I'm going to come down. I'm going to place these kind of on there like that. And then I'm going to go down to my elbow, just like that, okay? So I'm staying up on my toes, kind of rolled out, breathe in the nose, out the mouth. I'm going to go back to my hands because that's getting to be a little hard. And I'll stay up on my toes. For me, this is probably a little bit better. In the nose, out the mouth. Now, if you can't quite go up on the toes like that, it's okay if you want to leave your knee on the mat. All right, that's okay too. So you do that breathing in the nose, out the mouth for 40 seconds. After 40 seconds, you're going to come back to tabletop, and you're going to do this on the other side. And on the other side, you'll be able to see. See, I'm going to bring my foot up, let that roll out, and then this is the part I was talking about. You just kind of walk that foot back. All right. Now, if you feel the stretch here, that's good. If not, you can come up, and then if you need to, you can go down to those elbows. And I'm a little tight in my lower back today, so this would be about as far as I'm going to go. And then you breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, settle into it for 40 seconds. Now, once you've done that, 40 seconds on each side, we're going to move into our duck unders, which our tape fell down, but we'll fix that here in a minute. So if you're going to use these Synergy bands, don't ever put these things on when you're standing up, okay? You're going to lose your balance. There's a good chance you could fall. Safety is important, all right? Now, I do have some modifications to the bird dog crunches and to the dragon pose that if you go back to our previous posts in our videos, under dragon pose and the bird dog crunches, you will be able to see those modifications, because if you can't get on and up and down off of the floor, you can use a table or a countertop as a way to do these. okay? And I definitely would recommend going back and watching those so you can see what kind of modifications you need to make if you can't get up and down off the floor, or if you feel like these positions are too difficult for you. So take the band. So we're going to go into our last movement. Take the band, it goes around the knees, which is very simple like this, okay? Now we can get up, all right? So you just get up, and hopefully at home, what you set up stays up. And we're just going to fix this one. All right, and we're going to do those duck unders. Okay, now those duck unders really work your glute muscles. All right, they also work your quads, and make sure you tuck in the tummy. You remember, engage those core muscles so that it actually keeps the back supported. And this is all it is all we're going to do is we're going to step under, we're going to keep our head up, we're going to squat, we're going to duck under, we're going to come back out, we're going to step, squat, duck under, come back up. Now, keep your head, your eyes, your shoulder, everything level. Think like you have a bowl on the top of your head or a plate, okay? You're balancing something and you don't want it to fall, you don't want to spill it, all right? If you dip your head, what's going to happen is you're just going to bend your body. You're really not going to work your hips, all right? You can make this harder by either moving this down, okay, making the tape lower, or if it's too hard, you just go a little higher. I always start about the height of my shoulders, and then as you get more comfortable with it, you start moving it down, all right? So just very simple. Revisit that. Step, I'm going to come under, back, and forth for 40 seconds. That's all you're going to do. Working those bands, working those hips. I can feel that working my quads and my hips already. Okay? So for 40 seconds. Then you increase the speed at which you're doing that. So now, what I told you, remember, don't take these bands on or off when you're standing up. So you can just let that yourself sit back down. We'll take those bands off. I'll stand back up here in a minute. There we go. So there you have it. That would constitute one cycle. Now, what you would do is you would go back for the second cycle, bird dog crunches, dragon pose, duck unders. That would be cycle number 2. Cycle number 3, bird dog crunches, dragon, duck unders. You should strive to work up to where you can do 3 to 4 cycles comfortably. Then what you can do is start increasing the intensity. Okay? So, very, very important flow. It's a very helpful flow. We use it in the clinic all of the time. Now, trust me when I tell you this. This will give you a great back workout. It's going to hit all of the right muscle groups in the correct synergy correctly and quickly. And if you're working yourself correctly, you're going to be able to break a light sweat too, all right? And it's not going to take long, and you're soon going to notice improved movement, balance, coordination, and most of all, you're going to start feeling less back pain. If you find it that it's too hard at first, be patient, okay? Take it slow, keep those movements small. You may have to do the modifications, but just keep at it and it will until it gets better, okay? One thing I want you to remember is just because you can't do it today doesn't mean you won't be able to do it tomorrow. The key here is to be consistent and persistent, all right? Just to keep plugging away at it. So, by the way, if you're having back pain and you would like to not only find out what the root cause is, but you want to fix things for good, then what you should do is sign up for our new back pain breakthrough exam, okay? Just click on the link below in the comments to find out more about this amazing new program that we've put together. And as always, I'm going to leave you with a thought-provoking quote, this time from Helen Keller. And what she said was, "We can do anything we want to if we stick to it long enough." So I'm going to let you ruminate on that one. And until next time, power your life and keep moving forward.